Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is Smackdown. Something along those lines, but anyway, we are removed from the Great American Bash, and what a night that pay-per-view was. Here now, down under once more in Perth, Australia. However, tonight is not a night for a man who made a history at the Great American Bash, as Bobby Fish is getting his just deserves and his punishments for what happened in the build-up to the Great American Bash, despite being told on numerous occasions to stop doing what he did, in the mindset of he had snapped. After being told not to do it anymore, it has finally reached this point that the Smackdown committee have been forced to take action. Tonight, Paul Heyman banned from ringside, and on top of that, he will find out who he faces tonight at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which could prevent Bobby Fish from becoming the WWE Champion for a whole year. It is worrying times in the Dangerous Alliance camp, and I can only imagine that they are not looking forward to that at all. But we'll see what's going to happen with that later on tonight. As for now, we've still got some action to get through. And we're going to start things off right away with the matchup between Tyson Kidd and the first member of the SmackDown roster to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder matchup. That was, of course, Rusev. Tyson Kidd, meanwhile, still struggling to kind of find his footing since coming to the SmackDown brand, but now here tonight, kind of hoping that he can secure another victory over this time over Rusev, who really proved himself at the Great American Bash to be a lethal contender, and to finally, literally lethal, pun intended in that term, but he has shown that he is ready. He is here to just put on a fight, to go after whoever may choose to try and get in his way. Rusev wants that Great Money in the Bank briefcase, and he will stop at nothing to achieve it and to hold it, as we saw at the Great American Bash when he took on Jay Lethal. Not only winning with the accolade, but then after the match, putting him in the accolade again, just to add insult to injury. But I think that was one of the lesser talking points out of that Great American Bash pay-per-view. To be fair, there was a whole lot to talk about coming out of it. And there still is, to be fair, quite a variety of discussion. From Kenny Omega defeating CM Punk and putting that behind him once and for all, to, of course, the Bobby Fish making history and getting set to become the longest reigning world champion, the longest reigning champion of all time in this universe. And, of course, to the fact that we have a new Intercontinental Champion who will be in action tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura will be here after winning the Intercontinental title in the main event of the Great American Bash. What a moment that was for Nakamura. What a brawl it was between those two teams, between Nakamura and Lesnar. And it ended with a Kinshasa enough to put the beast down. Brock Lesnar, no longer Intercontinental Champion. And I, for one, am very much so looking forward to seeing how Nakamura looks with that Intercontinental Championship around his waist. But with that being said, Rusev, meanwhile, carrying his Bulgarian flag to the ring, and now he gets set to take on Tyson Kidd here to continue to build momentum to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, where he will join, as we currently know from ECW. Both ECW members have been revealed, that of course being Samoa Joe and Trevor Lee. So it should be a very interesting trio thus far in the matchup. We are still awaiting, of course, another one from SmackDown and both of Raw's, which is, well, we're halfway down the field, and we got, what, about 2 weeks to go? 3 weeks to go, even? I'm not too sure how long it is. It's probably closer to 2 weeks to go, considering how inconsistent we are. But anyway, Rusev primed and ready for this matchup, as is Tyson Kidd. Can Rusev pick up a big win and continue to build momentum over a former World Heavyweight Champion? Let's find out. The bell rings and we are underway. I'll quickly explain what else we've got coming up for you later on tonight. We got Trish Stratus going one-on-one with Nia Jax. Nia believing that despite what took place against her and Bayley, despite what took place in that fatal four-way, she is the only one on this roster capable of stopping the ever-dominant and the near unstoppable women's champion that is Winter. Nia Jax going to put that to the test tonight when she tries to take out Trish Stratus and prove that SmackDown doesn't need any Stratus faction. Then we're going to have a tag team matchup. Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio will be in action. They'll be taking on a team that picked up a win at the Great American Bash. It was not the Revival, of course. It's not the Revival who retained their tag team titles, but rather the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, who will certainly be on a wave of momentum following their win over Future Shock at the start of the show, and of course Kenny Omega's win later on in the night. The Elite, as they go by, was a very successful night for them, and they're going to try and continue it on here tonight. Speaking of Kenny Omega, following that matchup, we will be hearing from him in regards to that Great American Bash pay-per-view matchup and what is next for the Cleaner and the King of the Ring, of course, in regards to this SmackDown brand. Speaking of Shinsuke Nakamura, of course, talked about him during Rusev's entrance. He will be in action here tonight. He'll be going one-on-one against the Swiss Superman Cesaro. And what is going to be, I can only imagine, one incredible matchup shortly after Nakamura's brawl with Brock Lesnar. And then for our main event, Bobby Fish finds out who he's facing at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view personally as well, when he squares off one-on-one against them later on tonight. Fish may have got through Sami Zayn, but that does not mean he is in the clear yet. And with Paul Heyman banned from ringside, it may be a scary night for the WWE Champion. We're going to find out later on tonight, but right now we focus back on this matchup. Kid and Rusev been having a little bit of back and forth. Lana kept herself to herself right now at ringside, and I think Tyson Kidd's going to go up top and look for that blockbuster. Quite a bit to fly to hit Rusev though, and oh, he did not nail it. Too much to fly there, but he's able to recover. And look at that, Lana finally getting involved now to help out her husband. Rusev going to need all the time he can to try and get up to his feet. Don't turn around, Kid. Oh, caught with that leaping kick in the face. Lana proved a distraction strong enough to try and get her husband an advantage here, but it's Kid who pulls off the counter. Will Kid look for the sharpshooter now? Well, if he was, it was reversed by Rusev. Oh, here we go. Here comes the lack of respect by Rusev. Alabama slam. Countered, though, by Kid. That was a textbook counter as well. Something only a heart would know. Kid going to take flight here on the apron after reversing the Alabama slam. Elbow drop as the former world champion now starts to get himself going. Starts to get the wheels in motion here. Lana distracting the referee once more, but Rusev unable to capitalize from it, and instead it just ends up being a Kid catching his breath. Oh my God, there's some aggression from Kid. Here we go. Tyson Kidd now in position, ready to strike again, but Rusev pulls out the counter once more, and oh, went to flatten him, but it's a roll-up by Kidd, but Rusev, his large frame allowing him to get into the ropes, and there's that just full-blown kick into the ribs. As Kidd now is confused by the concept of turnbuckles, maybe, I'm not too sure. Quite a back-and-forth matchup thus far. I mean, Kid has always proven that he doesn't need huge muscles to make a name for himself. He's been able to do it time and time again in this universe. He won a world championship, of course. He's hardly the bulkiest man around. Rusev, though, jumping sidekick, but it's countered again by Kid. That, oh my goodness. I was going to say, that is what brings Kid his success, his incredible technical wrestling aspect. But I don't think you can expect a spin heel kick from a 300-pounder, no matter how good your wrestling is. Rusev now in position, ready to strike, stamps on the back, and locks in the accolade now on Tyson Kidd. Kidd might be in trouble here, and he is. Kidd is tapping. The former World Heavyweight Champion forced to submit to Rusev. And the Bulgarian Brute picks up another win on the road to Money in the Bank. It is unknown who is going to be joining Rusev on the SmackDown brand right now. But all I can say is that Rusev certainly trying to head in as if he is the favorite. Well, there is a, whichever way you look at it, even if Kidd isn't the superstar he is, who he was this time last year, it is still a win over a former World Heavyweight Champion. And that is something that Rusev can be proud of. So there we go. as Rusev continues on his quest here to become the Mr. Money in the Bank. A solid win. Going to help really put him on the road to a few weeks from now. But anyway, there we go. There's Rusev's win. We're going to move on now to see Trish Stratus against Nia Jax. Alright. So now we quickly move on to the women's matchup of the night. Trish Stratus still just trying to really get a namesake out there, and I think it's going to be a very difficult night for her to try to achieve that. Under no circumstance whatsoever is Nia Jax an easy opponent to take on. And yeah, I mean, just think about over these last 2 months, though. You know, Nia Jax is saying about how Winter is unstoppable. Winter needs to be stopped anyway, and she is the only one who can do it. Think about over these last few months, though. Sasha Banks, perhaps the SmackDown's most respected women's wrestler, being defeated by Winter. Bayley, being defeated by Winter. AJ Lee was defeated by Winter. Wasn't a title matchup, but was defeated by Winter. Nia Jax has been defeated by Sasha and Bayley in the past. So I don't know really how she can make that claim and make that assumption when she's been defeated by women who have been defeated, who have also been defeated by the women's champion. And Nia Jax, more to the point as well, to put it bluntly, has in fact lost to Winter in the past. She lost to her back at the No Mercy pay-per-view in February in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup. But yeah, it's just one of those things of how can Nia assert these claims when she really has not made that big of a name for herself on this SmackDown Women's brand. I would argue always #1 contender in my mind is Sasha Banks. Even though she didn't get the win at Judgment Day, she came the closest I think anyone has come thus far to actually achieving that victory. So that's just my takeaway from it. But I do believe that Nia's claim that she's the only one who could stop Winter is a bit over the top, maybe, and perhaps it may be the case that truly no one can stop Winter from achieving that women's championship and perhaps breaking the reign that she made with that title of some 180 days, I believe it to be. Well, she's halfway there already, so it could happen. Winter, meanwhile, Nia Jax, meanwhile, not off to a strong start over Trish Stratus. I got my words confused there. Trish gonna have to try and utilize what Bayley had to do this past week on SmackDown. She's gonna have to use her strength and her speed to her advantage to try and maneuver around Nia Jax. And oh, Trish there shrugging off a hard-hitting forearm, and now she's looking to strike here, but it's denied by Nia Jax. And uh-oh, this isn't looking good. Nia Jax now. Oh, what a power bomb! Well, this may be a bit of a struggling start for Trish, but she's trying to fight back, and she's just trying to strike with Nia, and that is certainly not a game you want to be playing. Nia Jax, an ever dominant woman that she is, hard-skinned as well, got that Samoan heritage within her. It is going to be incredibly difficult to try and outstrike this woman. And she just pushes Trish down there, and Trish going to have to retreat to the outside temporarily. And even then, that's in vain. Nia follows her outside, but Trish is able to counter quickly. And she runs up to the top rope as fast as she can. Off she flies, crossbody. Down goes Nia. Now, Trish needs to get some kind of advantage. She needs to work on a limb. She needs to go to work on the legs even of Nia. Just anything here to try and secure an upset victory. That is exactly what Trish is doing now. To the leg of Nia Jax. Trying to take away the base of this woman, but it's not going to work there. Nia counters, and an STO sends Trish back down to the mat. Oh, this is raw power by Nia Jax. Double-handed chokeslam. And Trish felt the full wrath of that one. And I think she's on her way to feeling yet more pain. Spine buster by Nia. Will it be to follow up? No, she's going to go right for the cover. There's 1, 2, no. Only a 1 count. Trish still trying to put on a tough frontier here, trying to prove that she's still got a lot of fight left in her. But that claim may be in vain. Oh, in the back once more. Really done a number on Trish's back in this matchup, has to be said. This may be it. Turns around. Nope. Going to the head. Trying to soften it up before she delivers that leg drop. To be fair, when a 280-pound leg is coming down on you like Nia's, I don't think you're going to have to worry too much about it. Trish, though, pulls out the reversal. And is quickly stuffed, though. She couldn't gain an advantage. Nia doing too much work on the floor there. And now, oof. A bomb tackle there right into the ribs and launched across the ring as if she was nothing. Nia Jax. Oh, I thought that was the leg drop on its way there. Elbow drop. And look at her taunting at Trish, telling her to stay down. But Trish refusing to give in there. And Trish now, chick kick! She caught Nia flush with that one. Is this going to be a huge win off of one move? No. Nia Jax kicks out at 2. But there is an opening for Trish. There is an opportunity here to capitalize maybe. Can she get it on the go here? Nope, Nia Jax is very quick to shut that down. Oh, throat chop uppercut and spine buster for Trish. If I was Nia, I'd just go for the leg drop and end it right now. Screw the pin. She's going to the arm for some reason. Oh, no. Again, teasing us all. Nia just kind of messing around right now with Trish Stratus. And another elbow drop. Trish rolls outside of the ring, but she has got to be in an extreme amount of pain. She's got to be feeling it surging through her body. And once more, Nia Jax on the back of Trish Stratus there with that backbreaker. Double slit to the throat there. I think that's a very Samoan thing to do. Oh, come on, Nia. Just end this thing already. Nia Jax has had more than enough opportunities to finish this match off, and she just is not. That is, I know she's trying to just mess around with Trish, but that is not something you can afford to do. Yeah, you can get cocky all you want, but if you start getting into a permanently cocky mindset, Winter is going to immediately knock that out of you and remind you where you are and where you stand in this women's division. There's that spine buster. Just hit the leg drop. Oh, well, never mind. She's going to go for the cover off of that spine buster. There's 2. And still, Trish has got a fight left in her to kick out. This is all Nia's fault, really. And there it is. That time, she nails it. Nia, no more messing around. No more fun and games. There's the leg drop. There's the 2. There's the 3. Nia Jax victorious. Trish had a fight within her. She gave it her best shot, but Nia Jax just too much for her and too much for the majority of the roster, it may seem. Who is going to be able to deny Nia Jax the opportunity to face off against Winter for the Women's Championship? I'm not too sure whether or not she's going to be the #1 contender. I'm not too sure if the Smackdown committee believe that she is the #1 contender either. But that is all to be seen at a future date. But right now, Nia Jax can take that victory and just go on her way about it. And we'll see what it means when Money in the Bank rolls around. But nevertheless, we're going to move on to our next contest now. Tag team matchup. Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero look to try and dent the momentum of the Young Bucks, who seem like they're on their way to potentially the #1 contendership for the WWE Tag Team titles. Well, here comes a team that in the past was Tag Team title challengers, but have kind of fallen by the wayside as of late. And but you know, tonight may be a night where they can bounce back from it really and just try and gain some kind of advantage. You know, just try and gain something from it. Maybe work towards a future title opportunity. SmackDown Tag Team division, while it is while it does have its strength, I mean, it's kind of a weakness of almost all the tag team divisions around you. While it has its strengths, while it has its strong points, it also has its weaknesses. And yeah, I'm not too sure really why that's the case, but just kind of something that's happened as of late. You've just got like your big teams and then your smaller teams. And it may be, and it can be kind of damaging to a tag team division when the same few teams are going at it each and every time. But I guess that's some things that happens. But anyway, here comes Eddie Guerrero in the lowrider, ready for this matchup. Eddie had you know, so far in this series or season, whatever we called it, he's had a pretty successful time. He was a former Cruiserweight champion in that time. I believe he lost it at WrestleMania, though, to Dean Malenko, but he still held that title at one point. And as he enjoys his entrance here, oh God, not in the mood to go through any entrances, not in the mood to listen to their fun and games. The Young Bucks have arrived, and, well, I'm not too sure what's going on right now, but that did backfire. Nick Jackson is going for Rey Mysterio. Meanwhile, Matt Jackson went specifically for Eddie Guerrero. Well, this matchup has got underway rather early. Matt Jackson just throwing Eddie by the wayside there, and it's going to be Matt who's going to start things off against Rey Mysterio now. Here we go. Eddie Guerrero running into the ring here. He wants some more of Matt Jackson, but he's not the legal man in this one. Oh, but Matt Jackson doesn't really care about that, and he knocks the referee down as well. Perhaps that was accidental or not, I'm not too sure. But look at this start here by the Young Bucks. Kind of exploding away there on offense. Eddie Guerrero really needs to get out of the ring here or risk getting a disqualification. And look at that. While the referee was dealing with that, Nick Jackson able to grab onto it, Rey Mysterio there, but Matt Jackson was still recovering from whatever Rey hit. And Rey now with a DDT. Not too sure what Eddie Guerrero's having some kind of trouble. They staying on the apron. Yep, he keeps on having that problem. It's alright, well, I'm glad that Eddie has, you know, Eddie's got problems. That's great for him. Keep it up. Maybe you can sort it out one day. Package pile driver there by Matt Jackson to floor Rey Mysterio. And oh, there's the disrespect from the Young Bucks. And now, look at that. Eddie Guerrero made it around the corner. Here we go now, the Young Bucks. What will they look for here? Oh, good God. Super kick into the pedigree. There it is. Down onto Rey Mysterio. They nailed that last time out at the Great American Bash, and they continue to go at it with their disrespectful moves and just parodying other teams or whatever they do, but certainly proved a victory for them back then. Can they do the same here tonight? Oh, double heel kick there. And Nick Jackson trying to take on both men here with little to no regard. He's trying to take them both on. Rey Mysterio really needs to get out of the ring here. Just some, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of teams who do not accept that rule. Oh, it's going to be another one, another super kick, and another pedigree. The roles reversed, but the same outcome. Oh, there it is. And they're going to go for the cover, sending Rey to the outside. It's an early cover in this one. And you can tell it's early because Eddie Guerrero kicking out at a very, very early 1 count. Calamity in this matchup thus far as the Young Bucks try and get attention put on them and try and get people noticing them on the road to trying to get that opportunity against the Revival. Eddie Guerrero now, they're looking to get his team back in it. Gory bomb. Indeed it is. And Rey Mysterio now. He's just staring right now at Matt Jackson. No one in this matchup can contain their hatred for one another, it seems. Everyone just wants to go at everyone. Wouldn't have expected that from two teams who I can only remember meeting up once in the past. There's certainly something that has transpired here. Going after the arm now. Temporarily is Matt Jackson tag made. Perhaps we'll see something other than a super kick pedigree. Double super kick! Well, that one certainly was on target. Super kick in the gut. Will there be a follow-up one? No. Not going to be the case, but that was one hell of a super kick there by double super kick combo, I should say, by the Young Bucks, and they continue now in control of Eddie Guerrero. Lovely moonsault as Nick Jackson goes high-flying here. First man in this matchup to take it to the top rope. Shooting star press into the cover right after it. Can he secure the win over Eddie Guerrero here? No, he can't. Guerrero out of 2, and Mysterio right on the charge there. Drop kick into the legs there by Eddie. Good counter though by Nick Jackson. Oh, super kick! And that may be one of the last ones in this matchup. No, it's a beautiful counter by Eddie Guerrero. Matt Jackson there unable to help out his brother. And now Nick may be in trouble, maybe finding out about 3 amigos of Eddie's. And it certainly seems to be the case, because there's the second, and now he's going to roll over for the third and final one. And he nails it. Great work by Eddie there. If I was Eddie, though, I'd make the tag right now into Ray, as Ray is fresher and has taken less offensive maneuvers in this matchup. And oh, they almost won it there. That was a very late 2 count, but Nick Jackson was still able to get the shoulder up and a hurricanrana there. How will they look to capitalize now? They've got, well, he's got Eddie right where he wants him. Sends him into the corner. Tag made. Oh, I think it's going to be, it is. Here we go. I'm not too sure exactly how this order goes, but it's more bang for your buck. Into the cover right away. Ray may be able to beat Nick Jackson to it, though, and he does. Yeah, Nick Jackson there went around the corner there and just kind of cost his team that opportunity to end this matchup. Matt Jackson missed the 450, but he does a good job of hanging in there, and still the Young Bucks are in control of this one. I don't know how, but they are. Oh, Eddie Guerrero did great there to get out of that super kick. But he couldn't get it. Well, that, what was that? Pump handle slam or whatever it was. Quickly countered in the corner now. Tag made. What are we going to see? Oh, it's going to be another one, isn't it? It's not. It's going to be the Indie Taker, the Meltzer Driver, whatever you want to call it. There it is. They nail it on Eddie, and that could very well be the end. Matt Jackson in, just to send Ray to the outside, and still Eddie Guerrero kicks out. Oh, what a kick combo there, chest and back, just for good measure. Nick Jackson now. Super kick! Another one. Another super kick, smashing Eddie right in the jaw. And it does it. Finally, they force Eddie Guerrero to stay down. And the Young Bucks secure the win. A very sloppy tag team matchup, to be fair. A very all-over-the-place kind of match. But it seemed as if they wanted to do whatever it took to get that win. Eddie Guerrero may need his jaw checked out after that one, because there were so many super kicks in that one. They went all out to try and get that victory, and they have now got it. But the question is, will the SmackDown committee view that as a credible enough victory to secure them an opportunity at the tag team titles? I'm not too sure, because of course there's only a small amount of road to go before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, so they're going to have to try and be quick about it. But with that being said, we'll talk about, you know, pay-per-views and people having success at pay-per-views maybe. Well, you want to talk about this man right here, the 2017 King of the Ring, Kenny Omega, at the Great American Bash finally put CM Punk past him with a victory to boot. And now here tonight, Omega going to talk about everything that transpired, maybe what is next for the cleaner, I don't know, but we'll find out what he's going to say right about now. And here he is, Kenny Omega, full of exuberance right now, full of confidence, I would assume, after that victory. By no means is it an easy feat defeating a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion, but that is exactly what Omega did at the Great American Bash, and now he gets to talk about it, and he gets to celebrate that win. Not exactly in the respectful manner that you'd expect from someone, though. This is Kenny Omega we're on about here, and there it is right away. Well, okay, maybe I was a little bit taken off guard there. He is showing respect for Punk. Of course, in Omega's mind, it is still the same case. This is Kenny Omega's time, Kenny Omega's hour, Kenny Omega's era. Oh, there's the threat. There's the threat already. What's next for Omega? Maybe Money in the Bank. Maybe he's up later on in the night. Maybe it's Shinsuke Nakamura. The cleaner does what he wants, and I like this. Omega keeping us all in suspense, keeping us all a little bit weary about what he is going to do next. But there's a threat to the entire roster by Kenny Omega, and I got to agree with him. He has proven himself. The Great American Bash proved that he is not just a joke of a King of the Ring. He is not just someone you can look past anymore. This is a genuine threat now to anyone and everyone. Omega is here to make a statement and a name for himself. And before long, Omega will have a title around his waist, on his shoulder, wherever he may want it to be. And the Elite, before long, is going to have Smackdown in the palm of their hands. Well, Omega's confidence still brimming following the Great American Bash, and we are still evidently waiting to see what is next for this man. So with it currently being unknown for Kenny Omega, we've all just kind of, the Smackdown committee themselves as well, may have to keep their wits about them to decide what is going to be the next thing to do for the 2017 King of the Ring. Do they give him Nakamura? Is he actually in action later on tonight? Do they send him in the Money in the Bank? Right now we have absolutely no idea what is on the cards for Kenny Omega. It's keeping us all in suspense. And with the Smackdown committee not saying anything about him thus far, the suspense does indeed continue. Right now we focus on this matchup. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, two incredible wrestlers, two former world champions as well, squaring off. Cesaro may just be looking for some momentum here. It's going to be so difficult to try and defeat the new Intercontinental Champion, but if he can get some momentum out of it, if he can get his name out there, that may be the best thing for Cesaro. And it may enable the former Mr. Money in the Bank winner to go on to another Money in the Bank and try and win it. But right now, no offense to him, it is not about Cesaro. It is about this man. It is about the World Heavyweight Champion. The Intercontinental Champion. The new Intercontinental Champion. The man who usurped the beast. It is Shinsuke Nakamura. What a match we witnessed between Nakamura and Brock Lesnar. It may not have been the technical wrestling spectacle that Omega and CM Punk was earlier in the night, but oh my god, was it one hell of a war that we witnessed between the two. Nakamura and Lesnar in the, about 10-15 minutes they had, traded back and forth finishes. Two F5s, two Kinshasas, both left their effect on one another, and both, well and truly, have left their names in the mind of their opponents. Nakamura will not forget the name Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar will not forget the name Shinsuke Nakamura. But what a fit that Intercontinental Championship is for the King of Strong Style. It does have to be said, Nakamura worked so hard to get that win at the Great American Bash, and it deserved every right to main event the pay-per-view. And now we wonder what is next for this man. What is going to be next for Shinsuke Nakamura? Who is next for Shinsuke Nakamura? Is another confrontation with Brock Lesnar on the horizon? Or is it another challenger on the road to Money in the Bank? That is something we're going to have to find out, I believe, when the time rolls around. But as for right now, we just keep our wits about ourselves. So here we go, Cesaro and Nakamura. My oh my, is this going to be one hell of a matchup. We'll see just what the mindset of Nakamura is. We'll see how we'll see how many bumps and bruises he's got following that matchup. We're going to find out right about now. Cesaro off to a good start there. Some good strikes from the former ECW champion, and he sends Nakamura outside the ring early on. While these two men may respect each other, like I said, Cesaro is just looking to try and get his name out there and prove that he belongs perhaps around this area of SmackDown. You know, he belongs in an area where he can make a name for himself and always be on the card week in and week out. And if he's going to do that, he has to do well against Nakamura, who right now is exploding away with offense on Cesaro. But the former ECW champion doesn't take too kindly to that. But oh, what a counter there by Nakamura. And early on already, Nakamura just unloading with offense here away on Cesaro, who goes colliding into the ring post there. Full blown. Referee's count now up to 8. There it is. But finally, both men return to the ring here. Nakamura in control on the outside, but look at Cesaro able to reverse quickly on the inside. Double foot stomp there. Both these men have achieved a great deal already within this universe. I mean, Cesaro has been around for a while and is just lacking one title to get a Grand Slam championship. Unfortunately, he is not going to be able to achieve that due to, well, the tertiary belts, quote-unquote, being women's titles and a cruiserweight title. You know, titles that he's not going to be able to achieve. Oh, what a kick in the side of the head there as once more these two men go to the outside. Nakamura, meanwhile, been in this universe, about not even a year and a half yet, and has already secured a world heavyweight, is already the longest reigning world heavyweight champion in this universe, already a former Mr. Money in the Bank, and already the Intercontinental Champion. Certainly did it in a much quicker time than Cesaro did. However, Cesaro is a Triple Crown champion, and he's got that to perhaps boast about. Nice move there by Cesaro. Good double underhook stalling suplex as well. As he continues to go to work here on the ribs of Nakamura. Perhaps the best part to go for, considering Nakamura took a variety of suplexes and 2 F5s to boot as well last night. Nakamura, though, going to try and fight back here. Good counter there by Cesaro, and now here he goes. Can the Swiss Superman get something going here? Unfortunately for him, he can't. This time last year, both men headed into Money in the Bank feeling confident about themselves, and both men did walk out with Money in the Bank briefcases. And of course, was a time when the brand split was not really in effect. Sure, there were 3 brands, and sure there were different sets of championships, but it was not a complete brand supremacy kind of deal. While there were 3 Money in the Bank briefcases up for grabs last year, this year, of course, there's only going to be 1. That's what makes that quest to win it and to achieve that brand supremacy even more vital. And that is what makes it that little bit more interesting, I think, this year around. We'll see what's going to happen in regards to that. Nakamura now looking for that exploder suplex, but oh, great counter there by Cesaro. Not every day you see that move reversed, but Cesaro did his damn finest to make sure he would get out of it. Cesaro now going to go for a sharpshooter here on Nakamura. Thinking about the pain the back and the ribs are going to be in as he tries to sit down on the back of the King of Strong Style. Got it really locked in here, Nakamura, writhing in pain. But he's able to just about get out of it. The matchup continues on right now. Here come the kicks though of Nakamura. Takes him over the top rope. Cesaro, great counter. Will he look for the roll-up here? Will he look to give Shinsuke Nakamura's first defeat on the Smackdown brand? 1, 2, and no. Nakamura kicks out. Nakamura may have lost on pay-per-view, but since coming to Smackdown in April, as a part of the draft, he is yet to be pinned on the show itself. Once more on the outside we go. Nakamura now. That matchup with Brock, it seems to have made Nakamura resort to even tougher tactics to try and secure a victory. Both these men with hard strikes to boot, elbow right in the knee there. As we head back into the ring now. It's really been, I mean, Nakamura's had quite a bit more offense than Cesaro, but at the same time, it has been a very back and forth matchup in most aspects. Nakamura, though, been able to nail more noticeable maneuvers, while Cesaro's have been mostly strikes. Up top now, double axe handle by the Swiss Superman. What will he look for now? Got him in place, has that leg hooked. Oh, beautiful suplex there. Hooks the outside leg so Nakamura can't grab the ropes. Into the cover, Nakamura out at 2. That was nice by Cesaro, though. Credit where credit's due. But it is Nakamura who's able to pull out a counter there. Oh, this is going to be a big power bomb. Not if Cesaro has anything to say about it. And now, the Swiss Superman in position. Dragging Nakamura. I think I know what he's going to go for. This is what makes him pound for pound one of the toughest athletes in the business. Rolling through with 3 deadlift gut-wrench suplexes. This is just an amazing feat of strength to see each and every time. And it goes onto the back and ribs of Nakamura. Cesaro, though, a little bit worn out by it, but he goes into the cover now. Nakamura able to kick out. Just about. I think now he is finally feeling the wrath of the Great American Bash, and it is finally setting in. But Nakamura still able to fight on here. Just trying to slow the pace down slightly. And it's a nice counter there by Cesaro. Only temporary. Oh, double knees in the back. You could see Shinsuke there just kind of temporarily thinking, what do I do next? And now is exactly what he wanted to do. Incredible double knees in the back. And now Nakamura all of a sudden able to explode here. Explode a suplex. And he's primed and ready. Nakamura. But don't go to the corner. Stay on the offense. Perhaps he's trying to warm up the crowd. He's trying to notify them that the end is on its way. Cesaro currently unable to move, unable to fight back. The knee is twitching for the Kinshasa. The Intercontinental Champion strikes and may well have put away Cesaro. Into the cover. 1, 2, 3. Nakamura is your winner here tonight. And the win streak continues on for the new Intercontinental Champion. Here we have it. Another win for Nakamura. Very well done as well. Cesaro put up a strong fight, to be fair. So if I was a SmackDown committee, I'd keep my eye about that. And I just realized, you know, maybe it's important that we keep our eye on Cesaro. But a good job there by Nakamura, and a good victory achieved as well, as the new Intercontinental Champion continues on his way and looks ready, you know, to just settle in for what could be a long championship reign, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Congrats Nakamura there, but now we're going to move on to our main event. We've been wondering, who is Fish taking on at Money in the Bank? Who is going to be the man to try and stop Bobby Fish from achieving that illustrious 365 days as WWE Champion? We are going to find out, but I want to take you back to something that happened earlier on in the night, I should say. In the back, you can see Bobby Fish there and Paul Heyman talking with one another, wondering what is going to happen here tonight. Heyman, of course, banned from ringside, and the worry between both men is strong. Like a family, those two men operate with one another. And with that stripped from Bobby Fish here tonight, he goes into the unknown alone. Will he be able to fare off successfully? Will he be able to quell the threat already of the man who looks set to challenge him for Money in the Bank? Or is it just complete worry within the Dangerous Alliance? We're going to find out right about now. And just to finish up on that little thing that happened backstage there, while we didn't have a microphone on it, apparently the rumor is that Paul Heyman knows who Fish is squaring off against right now, but he can't tell him. And all that Heyman was saying in that moment was, I'm sorry, just apologizing. Heyman knows, and Heyman can do nothing to stop this one. Fish, while he may be walking out here with that same confident expression that he has carried with him for 340 some days, there has got to be worry within this man. There has got to be a scared part of him. Will he be able to successfully defeat this man? I have no idea who it is. Heyman knows who it is. Fish has no idea. This is where it gets interesting. Who is the man who's going to try and put it all in jeopardy? Who is the man who's going to try and stop him from achieving the... Oh no. Oh no. Hell hath no fury like a pissed off Brock Lesnar. And oh my, have we come full circle. This is the man who was betrayed by Paul Heyman a year ago, so Bobby Fish could win that WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. This is the same man who has been forced for an entire year to keep his distance to Bobby Fish by the way of a restraining order. Well, apparently no more does this go on. Apparently no more do we see Lesnar having to keep his ground, having to stand by. The man who just lost his Intercontinental Champion is now the #1 contender for the WWE Championship, and Fish cannot believe this. He's going right for Brock, but oh good God, Brock doesn't take too kindly to that. There's a German suplex. And this one's underway. Brock Lesnar and Bobby Fish, once both members of the Next Big Things, since then have become pure and hatred enemies, and were never able to sort it all out once and for all due to that restraining order put in place. Lesnar has been keeping this anger within him for a year. For as long as Bobby Fish has been champion, Brock Lesnar has been unable to put his hands on him. But now, tonight, that all comes to an end. And I seriously think Lesnar is the one to do it. I think Lesnar can end it. Bobby Fish, though, still trying to fight you, the WWE champion. Not going to try and be fazed by Brock Lesnar, but I gotta imagine deep down inside him, he is absolutely petrified by what he's just seen. By the man currently hoofing him around the ring. Lesnar now in almost total control of Fish, who's had little to no offense in this one. Triple elbows into the skull. And Brock Lesnar's enjoying this. Lesnar is completely loving this moment. Getting his hands on Fish. Finally doing what he has wanted to do for nearly a year. Best luck trying to hit the fish hook when your leg is completely mangled beyond all recognition. Brock Lesnar right now just taking his sweet time. Oh no, it's time for Suplex City. Bobby Fish is in huge trouble, and we have still got around 2 weeks to go before Money in the Bank. Lesnar now is just having some fun with him. Fish may well be out. Lesnar may well have put everything into those strikes, and it certainly may have paid off. Brock Lesnar, in mere moments, has nailed the F5. And Brock Lesnar with a 1, 2, 3 just walked over the WWE champion and is set to walk in to Money in the Bank to end what he was a key part in starting, to finish what he was betrayed for. Brock Lesnar had his back turned on him by Paul Heyman and Bobby Fish at Money in the Bank, and now, this time around, this year, Lesnar walks in with their backs against the wall. Lesnar walks in as the hunter and not the hunted. Lesnar walks in with a chance of ending it all. How he would like to. Revenge, it seems, is going to come at Money in the Bank. And for Brock Lesnar and the Beast, it is going to be the tastiest dish. It is going to be the greatest meal he has ever allowed himself to feast on, as it is going to be covered in the blood of the men who betrayed him. There is no running now. There is no hiding behind a restraining order now. It has all come to an end, and at Money in the Bank, so may Bobby Fish's WWE Championship reign. This is worrying times for the champion. That being said, that ends this episode of Universe. We may be on for a new horizon in just a short amount of time on Smackdown. Let's keep our wits about us. I'll end this episode of Universe. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys. And ta-ra.